If you were to rank the top players scheduled to become free agents at the start of the new league year, the Philadelphia Eagles would have two of the top guys in linebacker Zack Baun and defensive tackle Milton Williams. Both players have been consistent performers in a contract year for the NFL's number one defense. The Eagles have another, more under-the-radar player who is currently generating buzz among NFL analysts. ESPN's Bill Barnwell named Eagles edge defender Josh Sweat, not Baun, Williams or even breakout right guard Mekhi Becton, as the team's top priority following the Super Bowl. Here was Barnwell's take for ESPN+. That's not the longest list of notable free agents, but there are a handful of key players in the mix, including 3 contributors to Philadelphia's much-vaunted defensive line. Brandon Graham is either going to retire or return to Philadelphia, but Sweat and Williams are young and valuable. With Bryce Huff struggling badly in his first season with the Eagles, General Manager Howie Roseman might be more inclined to bring back Sweat to play across from Nolan Smith Jr. Like everybody else on the Eagles' defense, Sweat slumped badly last season, but he was back up to 8 sacks and 15 knockdowns this season. As an edge rusher in good health who doesn't turn 28 until March, he should have a big market. Williams is wildly underrated, but with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis starting, the Eagles will probably lose the 2021 third-round pick to a team willing to pay him starter money in free agency. Sweat's contract path has been interesting to follow throughout his 7 seasons with the Eagles. He was drafted in the 4th round in 2018, landed a 3-year, $40 million extension in 2021, and this past offseason, settled for a 1-year deal to stay in Philadelphia at the prove-it price of $10 million almost fully guaranteed. He not only performed well enough to boost his market this time around, but he was so much better and more consistent than Bryce Huff, to Barnwell's point, that the Eagles can't afford to lose his production. Even with the emergence of Nolan Smith Jr. and some positive signs from rookie Jalix Hunt, the Eagles would be in a tough spot at pass rushers should they lose both Brandon Graham potential retirement and Sweat this offseason. The positional need is what makes Sweat feel like Philly's top post-Super Bowl priority, but it's almost preposterous not to list Baun at number 1. Replacing Sweat's 70 total pressures and 8 sacks including playoffs would be tough, but that's a lot more doable than making up for Baun's elite 110 solo tackles, 3.5 sacks and 6 forced fumbles entering Super Bowl 59. Sweat's play has flown under the radar a bit this season, and you could make the same case for both Williams and Becton, but Baun is pretty clearly the most transformative player for defensive coordinator Vic Fangio that Philly can't afford to lose.